Aleph. Zion Bey. Zion Bey.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, Once they have filled his cup, he declares, "What shall I leave at the bottom of the cup shall be my miser, and adjoining it is the rest of the miser, which that which I rendered miser shall be truma miser for it, and miser sheni at its mouth, and is redeemed with money." If a laborer does not trust the employer, he takes one dried fig and declares, "This and 9 after it are rendered miser for the 90 that I eat. This is rendered truma miser for them, and the last is miser sheni, and is redeemed with money." And he saves one dried fig. Rabbi Gamaliel says, "Let him not say it because it reduces his work for the employer." Rabbi Yossi says, "Let him not say it because it's a condition stipulated by the court." And if one buys wine among the Kuthians, he declares 2 logs, which I shall separate at Truma, and 10 Misa and 9 Misa Sheni. He redeems and drinks.
Okay.
Okay.
היו לו תאנים של תבל בסוך ביתו. Now here we have a situation where he knows that um, he's got untithed figs in his house, but he's not going to be able to get home. He's not going to be able to get home before Shabbos in order to master his to take Trumas and Mastras.
Right.
So what should he do if he wants to be able to eat all this stuff on Shabbos? Omer shtei teinim shani asid lafrish harei hen truma. He can declare it immediately. He says these 2 figs that I'm going to separate are going to be truma. Okay, that's just the proportion that's required for him to give truma. Okay, the eser maser rishon, and 10 of them, and the next 10 that I take will be maser rishon. Now he doesn't have to separate trumas maser, because if he knows that it's that if he knows that this is tevel, vadai tevel, then the maser rishon is vadai going to go to a levi, and then it's the levi's responsibility to separate the trumas maser. When we have a contrast that with our case where we have Demai, he doesn't have to give it to the Levi because the Levi can't prove that it's his, and therefore once he can keep the Maser Rishon, he also has the responsibility of taking the Trumas Maser. So whoever gets to keep the Maser Rishon has to pay the Trumas Maser, which is why we nowadays when we separate our own tithes, we're responsible for giving our own Trumas Maser because the Levium have no provable yichus, so they can't claim any of our Maser Rishon.
Right. Right. Okay.
Okay, so back to our situation, he separates out 10 parts as the Maser Rishon. V'teisha Maser Sheni, and another 9 parts, because now when you've taken away 10 from 100, you've now got 90, and 10% of 90 is 9. Okay, so 9 parts is Maser Sheni. Are you okay? So that's he can declare it before Shabbos comes in, and just leave them behind instead of like putting them aside. He will leave behind the pieces that he's chosen to separate. Okay. Hayu Demai, what happens if the produce is Demai rather than actual tevel? So he has the case that we were just talking about. Omer mash ani asid lafrish lemachar harehu maser. What I'm going to separate after Shabbos is going to be considered maser. Ushar maser samuch lo, and um, the rest of the maser is the rest of the maser. He's basically separating maser rishon and then trumas maser from the maser rishon. So Shah Maser Samach Lo, Ze Shasisi Maser, and that piece, that one out of 100 that I have designated will sorry Trumas Maser Alav. That becomes the Truma portion. Maser Sheni B'tzfono, and then again the Maser Sheni is in the northern part or in the southern part of Mechulal Alamaus, and that's redeemed on my money, and you can do that at a distance for Demai.
Okay.
Okay. Mishnah Vav. Hayu lefanav shtei kalkalos shel tevel. Okay, he's got 2 baskets of untithed produce, certainly untithed produce. The Amar, Masros zo bezo. And he says all of the Masros, he declares that the basket A is going to contain the Trumas and Masros for the Truma portion that he for basket B. Okay. Harishona Moser, then basket B is considered Maser, and he's got to take out the Truma portion from A, which is still Tevel. right? Because you can take from chayav on chayav. Shel zo bezo v'shel zo bezo. If he says this one basket A's maser is in B, and basket B's so chumas and masters are in on A are in B, and basket B's chumas and masters are in A. That's not going to work. Why? Because as soon as he declares that basket A's maser is in basket B, then basket A is now mitukan. It's fixed. It's pater from Chomas and Masras, aside from and the portion that he's going to take out of basket B will become the truma. But now basket B, you cannot take from A to fix basket B because basket A is already matukan, and you cannot take from the pater on the chayev. Okay, so if he says shel zo bezo shel zo bezo, harishonam is there. The first one is good, but the second one is not. Masros saying masros kalkala bechaverta. If he says the masros are masros for each basket for the other one, if he says it so that it's all chal at once, that everything happens in one statement, karashain, then he's done it. This is a theoretical thing. It's not a recommended practice. Why would anyone do this? It's dumb, but it's just like, somebody doing acrobatics just to prove that they can. It's really not a smart way to do it because you're just going to cause troubles for yourself. But the
No,
Mishna deals in theoretical possibilities in order to demonstrate a principle over here. That when the tikkun is chal all at once, then it actually works. But if you do it so that one works first and then the other one won't work because the first one is now already
right.
now tikkun. Okay. Maya tevel, maya chulin. Sorry, just give me a second to blow my nose. Maya tevel, maya chulin. You've got 100 parts of tevel and 100 parts of chulin. Okay, so chulin means mitukan. It's been fixed and it's already had chumas and mashas taken from it. And they're all mixed in together. Did I? Yeah, that's right. They're all mixed in together. So now, how can you fix this whole situation? Because now it's all how are you going to take truma? You can't eat anything out of it because it's a mixture of tevel. So how
Right.
you fix it? You can't fix it from itself because in order to fix it from itself, you would have to take notel mea ve'echad. You'd have to take 101. Let's say let's say they're dates. We've got dates inside there. You've got 100 table and 100 fixed. So you'd have to take out 101 to be certain that you got at least one table date out of there. Okay, in order to be the truma, the truma portion of this whole batch. Okay, really the best tikkun over here is to find some other untithed produce and bring that along some other vadai and bring them together so that you can take from the vadai on this portion over here. So what happens if you've got meya tevel meya maser? If you've got 100 parts of tevel of definitely untithed and meya maser, and you've got 100 parts of maser rishon that hasn't had truma gedola trumas maser taken out of it, so now you've got an even bigger problem. It's kind of the same problem actually because you need to take out because the truma the maser needs 10 parts of truma taken out of it, and the
Mhm.
tevel is one part of truma taken out of it. Okay, so notel mea ve'echad. Again, you have to take 101 because now you're guaranteed of having one part of the original tevel taken out of there. Okay, mea chulin mitzukanim. Again, you've got 100 parts of fixed and mea maser, and you've got 100 parts of maser rishon that needs 10 parts of truma taken out of it. So now you're going to have to take out 110 in order to make sure that you fixed up the maser, right? Because if you've got 100 already fixed, you cannot take truma out of the fixed out of the regular chulin because it's already
Right.
matukan. You got to end up taking 10 from at least 10 from the maser portion in order to make your trumas maser. So you got to take 100 and you got to take out 110 to guarantee that you got those 10. Mea tevil tishim maser. What happens if you have 100 of tevil and 90 of maser? Okay. Tishim tevil or shmonim maser. If you've got 90 tevil and 80 maser, in all of these cases, lo hefsid klum. You haven't lost anything. Why? Because let's just take a look at those numbers again. If you've got 100 of tevel and 90 maser, then you're still so your tevel needs to take out one portion of truma. Sorry, your tevel needs to take out um, tevel needs 1/100th to be taken out. Okay,
You take out one. You take out
and
one.
master. Hmm?
Take out one, right? And the 80 mice, you take out 10 from that pack.
Okay, let's just first deal with the case of 100 tevel and 90 maser.
Right.
Okay, if you've got 100 tevel, you need to take out one. You need to take out one trimmer, and the maser you got to take out 10. So you got to take out nine. You got to take out nine trimmer. So uh, if you take out 10, if you take out 10 of the slot over there then will that help? No, hang on, no, why would that help actually? Because Tishim, Maya Tevel Tishim Masa Shinisav, Nimta Sheyesh Frish Min Atarabis, Asar ala Trumas Masa. So you got to take out 10 for Trumas Masa, one from the 100 of Tevel and nine from the 90 of Maser, or in the second case of 90 Tevel and 80 Maser. Again, you've got to take out nine because it's you haven't lost anything if they got mixed up. He just has to take out 10 for the Trumas Maser that's in it, and he gives them to the Kohen. And it turns out that the rest is mutar in any event. If all 10 are from the Maser, then nine of them are Tisha Mahem Trumas Maser ala Maser. So then nine of them are actually Trumas Maser from the Maser, and one of them is Trumas Maser al ha Maser Harishon Shebetevel. Um, I'm sorry, I just got to do the math the math over here again. If you've got if 10 of them are from the Maser portion, so then nine of them for sure are the Trumas Maser, and that's good, and that fixes the Maser. And one of them is Trumas Maser on the Maser Rishon that was in the Tevel. Right, so there's a portion that has to come out of the Trumas Maser that was in the Tevel, and that's good. Ve'im Asara Mishel Tevel, and if the 10 came from the Tevel portion, they are Maser Rishon on the 100 of the Tevel. And since you now have 100 Maser, I'm sorry, I'm just give me a second. I'm gonna pause together. Okay, it says he's lost nothing. If 100 tevel and 90 maser became mixed up, he takes from the mixture 10 for the trumas maser that it contains and gives it to the priest. Okay. The owner may keep the rest for if the 10 are from the maser, if all 10 came from the maser, then 9 are trumas maser from the maser, and 1 is trumas maser for the maser rishon of the tevel. Okay, but what happened to the truma gadol of the tevel? That's what we're missing over here. If, on the other hand, the 10 are from the tevel, then they are maser rishon for the 100 of tevel. So if all 10 come from tevel, then what he can do is he can make a tanai basically and say that if these are all from tevel, then they're the maser rishon for the 100 of the tevel. And since he now has 100 maser, because they're the 10 that he took that are tevel that he's considering maser rishon. Now you've got 100 maser, and he renders them trumas maser for the whole mixture. Likewise, if 90 tevel became mixed up with 80 maser, he takes from the mixture 8 and 9 tenths, okay, for the Trumas Maser that it contains and gives it to the priest, and he can keep the rest. So the owner loses nothing. It doesn't answer where Truma Gedola is going to come from for the Tevel. Um, Tevel. Because he's still got to take Truma Gedola from the Tevel. So this is not making sense to me. I actually I missed this in my preparation. Um, it says okay. So your general rule for over here is that he's as long as the greater part is tevel, um, at least the ratio is more. So it's like if the maser portion is 1/10 less than the tevel portion, and then this math works out fine. Then he loses nothing. He separates the trumas maser and gives it to the priest, as we explained over here. Um, this this doesn't answer the question of what happens in the case where all 10 came from the maser. Um, if all 10 came from the Maser from the Maser Rishon portion, then how is the Chulin, how is the Tevil Mitukan at all? Um, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to get back to you on that one.
I'm
All
very
right,
confused on
I'm
this.
very confused by this, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to get back to you on this. I don't understand how it can work, and I'll have to do some research on it. I'm sorry. Okay, tomorrow
That's all
we're
right.
going to finish Demai and start Kilaim.
Kalayim?
Yeah, Kilaim.
Okay. Pay it. Aleph
Let's
Vav.
go back to Hey Dalit of Demai.
Hey, down. Oh, yeah, I skipped that. I'm sorry. Okay. Um, hey, what? I'm sorry. You said hey, Dalit?
Yeah.
Why did I put this in the wrong place? Okay, here it is. Um, if one buys from a bread seller, he must tithe every mold. So says Reb Meir. Reb Yehuda says from one for all. Reb Yehuda agrees that when one buys from a monopolist, he must tithe every mold. If one buys from the poor, so too, if a poor man is given pieces of bread or fragments of fig cake, he must tithe each one. But in the case of dates and dried figs, he may mix them together and take. Rabbi Yehuda says when the gift is large, but when the gift is small, he separates the tithe for each one. And if one buys from a wholesaler and then buys again, he should not separate tithes from one or the other, not even the same container, not even from the same kind. And the wholesaler may believe when he says they are one. Okay. Now we are
Hey.
in pay, and I lost my place because I
Aleph
moved the
Hey.
tissue. Oh, okay, I moved the thing. Okay, I'll okay, here it is. Um, Once I move that tissue, I'm stuck. Okay, olive hay. Among trees, the sumac, the carob, the nuts, the almonds, um, the vines, the pomegranates, the olives, and the palms are subject to payah. One always gives payah and is exempt from the maasrot until it is even. And he may give it as a hefker and is exempt from the maasrot until it is even. And one may feed cattle and wild animals and birds and is exempt from maasrot until it is even. And he may take from the granary and he may sow and he may exempt from the maasrot until it is even. This is Rabbi Akiva. If a priest and a Levite purchase a threshing floor, the maasrot are theirs until it is even. If a person consecrates and redeems, he is liable for maasros, and the treasurer until the treasurer evens. Okay.
One more. Uh, Base
Um,
up.
uh, base olive. And these form a division regarding the pay of the brook and the channel and the private way and the public way and the public path and the private path that is permanent for the sunny season and for the rainy season, and the uncultivated and the plowed field and another seed. And if a person reaps for fodder, it forms a division. So says Reb Meir, and the some say he does not form a division unless it is plowed. Okay. Yeah. Nida. Hey, Nida. Hey. A boy who is 9 years old and one day old who cohabitates with his Yavama acquires her, but he cannot give her a bill of divorce until he reaches adulthood. Furthermore, he becomes tummy by cohabiting with a Nida to the degree that he will render a bottom couch and as tummy as that which is on top. He disqualifies a woman whom he cohabitates, but it does not cause a woman to eat truma. He disqualifies an animal from being offered on the altar, and the animal is stoned to death on his account. And he cohabitates with anyone if he cohabitates with anyone of the arayos, forbidden pardons in the Torah, they are put to death on his account, but he is not liable to punishment. A girl who is 11 and 1 day old and vows are examined. Her vows are examined. The girl who is 12 years old and 1 day old, her vows stand. And if a girl's vows are examined, her entire 12th year. A boy who is 12 years old and 1 day old, his vows are examined. A boy who is 13 years old and 1 day old, his vows stand. And a boy's vows are examined his entire 13th year. Before this time, even if they say we know unto whom we vowed, or we know unto whom we consecrated, their vows are not valid vows, and their consecrations are not valid consecrations. After this time, even if they say we did not know until whom we vowed, or we did not know until whom we consecrated, their vows are valid vows, and their consecrations are valid consecrations. The Chachamim created a metaphor for the development stages of a woman, a green fig, a small fig, and semo. At the stage when she is like to a green fig, she is a child. The stage of a small fig alludes to the days of Reinaris. During both this stage and that stage, a father is entitled to her fines and to her earnings and to the annulment of her vows. Sesmo refers to a stage of full adulthood. Once he reaches full adulthood, the father no longer has authority over her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elim.
Elim. Okay. Yud Aleph Zion. A horn that is curved is tame, but a straight horn is tahor. If its mouthpiece was of metal, it is tame. Regarding its bell, Rabbi Tarfon was a tame, but the cage was a tahor. And when they are joined together, everything is tame. And similarly, the branches of a candelabra are tahor, but the pesach, the parak, and the base of the candelabra are tame. And when they are joined together, everything is tame. The helmet is tame, but chikarts are tahor. If the chikarts have a receptacle for water, they're tame. All implements of war are tame. A kindon, a spearhead, greaves, and a goat of male are tame. All women's jewelry is tame. A city of gold, chokers, earrings, and finger rings. A finger ring, whether it's a signet or not, or does not have a signet, and its nose rings. Regarding a choker whose beads are of metal and strung on a linen and wool thread, even if the thread snap, the beads are tame, since each one is by itself a utensil. Regarding a metal thread that was strung with beads of precious stones, pearls, and glass, if the beads broke and the thread alone remains intact, the thread is tame. The remnant of a choker in the width of the neck size of a young girl, Rabbi Eliezer says, even if one bead remains, it is tame, since people hang it around their neck. Regarding an earring that is shaped like a pot at its lower end and a lentil at its top, if it became a part, the section resembling a pot is tame because it is a utensil with a receptacle. And the lentil type shape is tame by itself. However, the hook is tahor. An earring that was made like a cluster of grapes and it became a part is tahor. Okay.
Okay.
And we are on to Basa Basra.
Baba Basra.
Okay. Yud Vav. If someone's loan document was erased, witnesses attest to it and it becomes before the court and they draw up a validation. The document of so-and-so, the done of so-and-so was erased and of such and such a date, and so-and-so and so-and-so were his witnesses. If one paid part of his debt, Rabbi Yehuda says he should exchange the document. Rabbi Yossi says he should write a receipt. Said Rabbi Yehuda, the results in his needing to safeguard his receipt from the mice. The wealthy can say to the poor one, acquire servants and let them bathe in the
Stop. Come back. You skipped the page.
I feel bad. Yossi said to him, it is fitting for him, so this one's position is not being impaired. If there were two brothers, one poor and one wealthy, and the father said, left them a bathhouse or an olive press that they had made them for renting, the right rent is divided. If he made them for themselves, the wealthy one can say to the poor one, acquire servants and let them bathe in the bathhouse, acquire olives and come process them in the olive press. Two people in the same town, both named Yosef and Shimon, cannot produce a document of indebtedness against each other, nor can another produce a document of indebtedness against them. If one found among his documents a receipt stating the note of Yosef and Shimon is paid, but their notes are retreated as paid, what should they do? They should record the third generation. If they were identical for 3 generations, they should write a description. If they were alike, they should write Kohen. If someone said to his son, one of my notes is paid, but I do not know which one, all the notes are paid. If 2 notes from one person were found there, the larger one is treated as paid, and the smaller one is not considered paid. One who lends to another through a guarantee, guarantor may not collect from the guarantor. If he said, on condition that I collect from whomever I wish, he may collect from the guarantor. Reb Shimon Ben Gamil says in either case, if the borrower has property, he may not collect from the guarantor. And similarly, Reb Shimon Ben Gamil said if one was a guarantor of a woman's ketubah and a husband was divorcing her, he must vow not to derive any further benefit from her to prevent from plotting against this one's property and then remarry. One who lends money with a document collects from mortgage properties and with witnesses. He collects only from available properties. If he produces handwritten note that is indebted to him, he collects only available properties. A guarantor appears below the document's signature. He collects only from available properties. In a case come before Rabbi Yishmael, and he said he collects only from available properties. The man said to him, he collects neither from mortgage properties nor from available properties. And he said to them, why? He said to them, because if someone was choking someone in the street and another encountered him and said, let him alone, he is exempt because he did not lend him due who is trusted him. Rather, which is a guarantor who is liable if he said, lend him and I will give you. He is liable because he lent him due his trust in him. But Mishmael says one who wishes to become wise should involve himself in the study of monetary laws, and there is no branch of Torah greater than them, because they are like a welling fountain, and one who wishes to involve himself in monetary laws should serve Shimon ben Namas.
All
Alhamdulillah.
right, we're gonna have to leave the bathroom because I got to get to shul.
I gotta go. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do
Okay.
last two myself. Okay.
All right. Have a
Caleb,
good day.
a great